estrogen, high levels of estrogen, stimulates the production of luteinizing hormone, but at the same time is blocking the FSH. So that luteinizing hormone goes straight to the follicles, and they help to release the luteinizing hormone, releases the egg from the follicle. What remains of the follicle, as you can see here, is a yellow body, and that yellow body is called the corpus luteum. That corpus luteum acts as a gland producing progesterone, and that progesterone blocks the pituitary gland by blocking the production of luteinizing hormone, and goes to the lining of the uterus to give more support to the work of the estrogen, which is to build up blood vessels so that the endometrium is more supportive for the embryo or the potential embryo. All right, so that written in steps. The second part, third part. In the third part, then, high levels of estrogen act as a stimulus to the pituitary gland, so that the pituitary gland produces LH, which stands for luteinizing hormone, which again releases the egg from the follicles. Once the egg is released, the remainings of that follicle are called corpus luteum, because it's yellow. Luteum means yellow in Greek again. Corpus luteum. And this corpus luteum acts as a gland producing progesterone. This progesterone has two targets. The first one, the lining of the uterus or the endometrium. And what the progesterone does is to supply the endometrium with more blood vessels. If there are more blood vessels, more oxygen is available for the endometrium and the potential egg, fertilized egg, and more nutrients. So this gives a lot of chemical support to the potential embryo. And the second target of the progesterone is the pituitary gland. Doing what? Block the production of the LH. So if progesterone blocks the LH, that makes that the follicles won't release more eggs. So here, um, here, the LH was produced, so the egg was released, and the corpus luteum is produced. That corpus luteum starts to secrete progesterone, also produce progesterone. That progesterone blocks the production of the luteinizing hormone. As you can see, rising the levels of progesterone makes that the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone falls down. And again, as you can see here, the progesterone, high levels of progesterone and estrogen, makes that the endometrium finds its optimum, its higher level, it's more supportive for the potential fertilized egg or embryo. After that, because the same estrogen and the same progesterone blocks their own production by blocking the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone, they fall down if the egg is not fertilized. If the progesterone and the estrogen falls down, then the endometrium can no longer be supported by them, and this breaking down produces the next phase, which is menstruation. So menstruation again is the falling down of the endometrium. What happens here is that if the egg is fertilized, let's open another one. If the egg is fertilized, so if the egg is fertilized, the corpus luteum last 16 weeks of the pregnancy stage. And that corpus luteum are going to produces estrogen and progesterone to maintain the endometrium. Progesterone. After the 16 weeks, the corpus luteum is broken down. And because at the 16th week, the embryo is more developed. We can see a well-developed embryo and a placenta. The placenta takes over the corpus luteum. Placenta takes over corpus luteum by producing the same estrogen and progesterone.